None of your favorite creators were confident on camera when they were starting out. I doesn't look good, I didn't like myself on any photos.
Personally, what has helped me the most in my life is actually breathwork. I was in a breathwork session that went for 3 hours in Bali that would just completely change my life.
One thing that definitely helped me become more confident was approach random girls in a coffee shop or on a street, just talk to them, say them they are pretty, and some people use perhaps a picture of their friend or a family member.
That I'm sort of envisioning a concrete person that I'm talking to.
I was crying, I was just weird talking to the camera. This was the thing that helped me the most, and before that I was like, everyone's gonna judge me, everyone's gonna hate me. They won't judge you, they won't give a shit about you. What's up you guys, welcome to yet another episode of the Dream Creator podcast. Today we will be talking about how to be confident on the camera. And for me, honestly, this was such a long and I would say scary journey. So hopefully we can just share some value with you guys to be able to sit in front of camera and just talk, being confident and being just natural as much.
Chances are high that if you're watching this podcast, you are also interested in creating content to pursue your dreams. The base thing is to actually start with the reason you're doing it for. So the why behind all of it. And the stronger the why, the less important the how. So if your sense of why is very, very high and you're 100% convinced that you want to create content, the fear of talking to the camera is automatically diminished because you're just believing in yourself and you see it as a necessary requirement to create content.
Bro, I love this, and I think we'll go over this more depth later on in the video, and this just resonated so much. Like, if you have a strong why, then no problems on the way will just stop you and you will achieve any dreams you have. So yeah, totally resonate with that. But first of all, let's actually play and react to our first attempts of talking to the camera. Honestly, when I was starting out, I was just so super unconfident on the camera, and seeing creators that I looked up to, how confident they are on the camera, seeing their first videos or them sharing how they were starting out, it just motivated me so much because that way I saw it's not something you are born with. It's a skill and no one is good at it. None of your favorite creators were confident on camera when they were starting out. This is such an important thing to start off with, and so I think it will be pretty fun to just react to our first attempt talking to the camera. So are you starting, Leonard, or should I start with my video?
Yeah, go ahead, you can start with yours.
Oh fuck, no, this is gonna be so fucking embarrassing.
Oh my god.
Bro, this is gonna be so funny. It was like 4 years ago, so that means I was 15 or 14. Basically, the video is a school project where I am explaining what is my dream job, but for some reason, it just sounds so depressing, even though it's about my dream job. So yeah, let's go for it. I'm already so embarrassed. Let's go.
It all started when I was 8 years old. During a holiday we decided with my friend that we will make a future film.
Right away, like the pro.
We had a small digital camera and a summer cottage where we spent the holidays. Even though that we didn't finish the movie and the project was never
The movie.
risen, it was the moment when I first thought that I wanted to become a film director. A few years later, I think I was 13, I received a call from my friend's father, who heard that I was shooting some videos, if I would like to make a music video for his band. I had almost no experience of shooting videos, so the result was nothing much. But I see the future in it.
Bro.
As I wanted to improve my filmmaking skills.
Bro, I can't believe, I mean, I can't believe like how that must have looked like. All these dads playing in their band and then there's like a 12-year-old guy just walking around with his camera and filming them.
Yeah.
Skills, I started looking for online video tutorials and any informations about making videos. However, there were not many of them on the Czech internet, so I started watching English videos. At the first time I didn't understand very much, but over times I began to understand more and more. Frequently repeating words that I didn't know, I translated and tried to remember. I learned a lot of new things, but I have no way to apply them in a practice. So I decided to buy a new camera.
The pause, like what the fuck's going on? Like, could I just cut it out?
After a long searching on the internet, I found one that exactly met my needs. The problem was that it cost something around 20,000 Czech crowns. Which
That's like $1,000 or something like that.
at the time was a lot of money for me. But nothing is impossible when someone has a strong intention. At the end of the year I have saved about 12,000 crowns. My parents added the rest of them and I got a postal package in front of my door at a Christmas. And the package completely changed my life.
The mustache, oh my god. It looks just so bad. Like I was just thinking, how mature do I look like if I leave the mustache on? But it just looked just so
Bro,
so fucking weird.
you said you were 13 or 14 at this time.
I think 14. I was just turning 15 or something like that.
But I mean, props to you. You look insanely mature for knowing your intention, knowing your dreams at this age, and then creating a fucking cinematic video around it.
Yeah, but the theme of the video, like why the heck did I talk like I was just on a funeral or something?
The quality of my work suddenly jumped to a higher level. My dreams turned into reality. However, the camera wasn't the main reason. It was just a tool through which my developing knowledge could manifest. I spent most of my free time learning new filmmaking skills, using my computer and smartphone.
Yeah, I'm just having fun here.
In the summer of the same year, I decided to make another but shorter film, with the same friend as I made my first movie. But this time I wanted to finish it. And I did it. A few days after completion, our film was screened in a cinema in our town, as a part of the student film festival.
Wow.
The film was a great success. After the screening, there was a deafening applause in the hall. And I knew that I had chosen the right way.
Yeah, this is the end. Oh my god. Fuck. This was too uncomfortable. Like, I'm just so looking forward to your video.
Oh my
Because it
god,
will
bro.
be. Okay, so now you guys probably see how embarrassing it looked like when I first started making videos, and I think your first attempt will be way better than mine. Yeah, because you're probably not 15 years old, and I was just so unconfident and just so shy that the way I was talking, which was kind of depressing and just kind of, yeah, super serious, I just thought I look more confident that way and I look more mature, but in the end it just looked so fucking cringy. If I would be just normal and I would be talking as I am talking right now to you guys, just not giving a shit about how I look like, it would look way less cringy. The first thing is just accepting who you are and not taking yourself seriously, because the only thing you will achieve by taking yourself seriously is to look totally the most fucking cringe. So yeah, let's check out your first video, Leonard.
Yeah.
Let's go for it.
Actually, what I want to add to that, so to me it seems like you've already been quite confident on camera. So you were looking directly into the lens and you were speaking with conviction, and it seemed like to me, I'm not sure if you were using a teleprompter or not, but you were able to just speak very clearly and openly and freely, just without any filler words, any ums, any disruption. And then also your intentional pauses, where you were not saying anything for 5 seconds or so. I mean, that also shows some sort of confidence. And like mental clarity in a sense that you know what you want to say. So how was that for you? Did you feel confident on a camera at the time?
No, fuck no. I felt totally super not confident. And actually, funny thing is, I wrote down the whole script because I was really bad at English at that time, so I had to like even translate most of the script and just learn it. So I already learned most of the script, and at the same time I probably had like a paper or just the script like running on my laptop right next to the camera, so I was trying to like looking into the camera and then just reading like a line, talking it to the camera. And after that I just saw how bad it sounded. I made a dubbing for the whole thing, so there are no ums and no ums, so I just talk it straight to the microphone like playing the video. I think it was like that, not sure, or maybe I used the actual sound, but it was just so much of work and I was totally not confident at all.
I mean, that's funny, right? So you said you weren't really confident, and you putting on this serious face was your, in a sense, like a defense mechanism, right?
Yes,
To show
exactly.
to others how you are confident and how you're not cringing, how you're not looking away. So really curious, what was the response of all the people that like watched that YouTube video, the one that you just showed us?
No one saw that YouTube video. This was just for school. You can see 3 views. It's unlisted. But not only was I not confident on camera, I was just really fucking scared and shy in real life. That's why I was having the mustache. That's why I was wearing like just suits or stuff like that. And I was just with everything tried to look like I'm older, because I felt that people won't take me seriously and won't accept me if they will know I am 15 or 14. So some of the times when I was working with some bigger bands later on or directors, I didn't even tell them my age. So when they realized it, they were like, oh, okay, but they had even more respect how good I was compared to like the age. So probably when I was 17 or something like that, I already realized how strong upside is to actually tell people my age. If I were to share my age earlier on, it would be probably even more respect. And it took so much time to break the mask, and I was just putting on such a strong mask for such a long time. So this was such a breakthrough. But we will talk more about that later on. Let's right now watch your videos. Go. This is gonna be also fun. By the way, one tip for all of you guys: if you want to start recording podcast, don't drink coffee right before that. I'm not as relaxed as I would be without drinking the coffee, and I already heard other content creators talking about this, that you should not drink coffee before podcast or before talking to the camera, because your voice just won't be as relaxed, as deep, and as pleasant. So next time.
So that was when I was in Thailand, in Koh Phangan. That must have been mid of November. And that was the first ever talking head video that I did. So the first ever video in which I was just talking to the camera directly. And that was on my old phone. That was the iPhone XS. And it was after the realization that, yeah, I will be going into the personal development and spirituality niche and work there as a coach.
Yes.
And develop my personal brand. So I was like, yes, I need to create content now to build a personal brand. And funnily enough, I've been talking with so many people in my life about making content online and building a personal brand beforehand, but there was never a strong enough reason for me to actually do it. So I can remember my cousin and I talking about this so many times. He was actually building a couple of fashion or meme pages on Instagram up to 30k followers, and then we were like discussing how it might be beneficial for him to personalize this meme page to use it for himself. And then we were like, oh yeah, it would be so amazing to have a personal account with like 30k followers. You'd get to meet so many people, you'd get to connect with like-minded people, you'd have a strong network, and you'd just be famous. So he never did that. But I was also thinking about it, and I was really seeing insane upsides and potentials that having a strong personal brand actually brings with it. And then I was realizing, yeah, I need to do this as well, because I want to build my own brand. I want to offer my services and impact the world essentially. So that was the first video ever in which I was talking into the camera, and I just wanted to spit some deep wisdom and share my insights about personal development. So this is what I'm doing in this video here.
Oh, that's epic. So your first video was just 9 months ago.
Yeah. So like something along that.
That's insane.
It's quite of a different journey than you have been going down, right? So you said that you had the idea at 8 years old to already start making movies, and you did that with your friend and these two red cars. And
it was actually one car.
One car only.
That's visual effects.
No way, bro! You're fucking wizard.
You didn't realize it's the exact same car, but we just had one car, so we had to clone it in post-production, and we actually shot a whole car chase scene with just one car.
Oh my god, bro! At 8 years
and
old,
it actually looked, and it actually looks like there are two cars.
Yeah,
that's
it
the
does.
funny thing about it.
I was like, there must be two different cars, because at the first glance when I was looking at it, they looked like two different models of a car.
Yeah.
So, two different types entirely. Bro, I love it. And this is the reason why I'm doing this podcast with you, because you're blowing my mind every time. You're a fucking prodigy, already starting to work in these things at 8 years old, man. I can't believe it.
Thanks, bro. Let's play the video and react, and then go into the tips you guys are waiting for. Let's play it. I'm looking forward.
All right, guys. So all that we have need to decide is how we want to spend our time. And we have two options for this. We can go down the easy road, we can go down the hard road. So easy road is immediate gratification, instant pleasure, basically things that are just handed to you, things you don't need to work for, that will make you feel good in the moment for some minutes, for some hours, but then tomorrow, the next day, after 1 or 2 years, you're not going to have anything substantial from it. Number two is delayed gratification or long-term pleasure. Basically things, your goals, the dreams that you are working for, and that then give you the pleasure and the fulfillment and the happiness that you deeply seek. So choose wisely, my friends.
Already so confident on there. That's so good. Like, are you reading it from a script, or was this just thought you had in your mind and you just wanted to share it?
Yeah, good question. Yeah, I was confident because I was in a good energy state. So I was happy in that moment. I was inspired to share my message there. And this is what actually then allowed me to sort of transfer my inner confidence that I was feeling in this moment also onto camera and into this video. I was writing down the script before, so I had it on my Apple Notes. I was just writing down what I wanted to say, and then I was rehearsing it. And I think it took me like 20 or 30 takes to speak it fluently, because otherwise, before I was trying to memorize it, and at the time I didn't even know I would just be able to cut out scenes where I forgot something.
Is this just one take?
It's a one take, yeah.
That's epic. But yeah, I just feel like you're super confident on the camera, and I would guess it was the first take. Like, it looks really natural.
No, yeah, it wasn't the first take. I think it took me like 20 takes. I was confident in that one. Funnily enough, maybe also more confident in this video than other videos I've been shooting afterwards.
Yeah.
So at the time I was traveling around, I was in a very good state. Kopangan was one of the best times of my life, actually, because the people there were just simply amazing. And now that I'm back home in Germany, the vibe here is a bit different. That might also be translating to the quality of video production, or the energy that I have. But what I feel like is most exciting when it comes to being confident on camera, or what actually makes good quality content, is the energy transaction. Me being in a high energy state is something that you as the viewer or the listener is going to receive. The more energy that I have myself, the more energy you will receive.
I feel like everything is energy transfer, no matter if I'm creating music, creating videos, or coming up with business ideas, it's all energy transfer. If you can transfer a positive energy, then doesn't matter if you have perfect pronunciation, the energy will come through the video. So that's why I'm trying to like optimize my state and make this podcast as much of a energy transfer. So I think this is super important. And I would be actually really curious, Leonard, what was some of the practices, exercises you've done to be more confident on camera?
Yeah, sometimes I'm a huge procrastinator. So I think the time I recorded this video was like 11 p.m. or even 1 a.m. or something along those lines. Like, many times I was really delaying and procrastinating me recording a video. And then I think the latest I ever recorded a video was like 5 a.m. already. And being like, I still need to record a video for the day. Or that was already the next day. but
That's
I
wild.
wouldn't allow myself to go to sleep until I've done that thing. And then for some reason I was just always delaying it. And I don't know, like although I told myself, yes, it makes sense for me to do it in the morning, to just have it checked off essentially, I would delay it until late at night after dinner. And then it took me so much. And then at that point, when I was recording this video, I was just like, man, like I can't be asked anymore. Let me just record this video and then publish it. I just want to go to sleep now. Being confident on camera is a muscle, right? So it's something that you're not
Yes.
necessarily born with. You develop a certain sense of confidence, and this inner confidence, this inner self-trust, and also translates to you speaking on camera. But it's not something you either have or don't have. It's not a binary thing. It's not something that is never meant for you, in a sense. So you always have the possibility to cultivating more confidence on camera. And what has helped me personally is to work on my own confidence. And then my level of confidence was easier to translate onto the specific skill of talking on camera. So if I would have, let's say, never worked on my inner confidence, then talking on camera might have been a more difficult thing to cultivate, but it's still something I would have been able to do with a lot of practice. Confidence is a muscle, and talking on camera confidently is a muscle as well.
Yeah, bro, I think this is such an important thing, and we will talk about this later on, how the confidence on camera can increase your confidence in real life, and the opposite way is just one confidence and one accepting yourself. Being able to talk more confidently on camera also helped me in talking with girls at some party or a coffee shop or whatever, and the opposite way. So we will be talking about it later on, but one thing that you mentioned that really stuck with me was the procrastination and the dealing when it comes to creating content. And I see this either when I'm starting a new style of videos or when I'm just creating normal videos, as well as on so many friends who I am helping boost their content and build their own personal brand. They are dealing it every single time to the last possible moment. I think the reason, and we will be talking about some tips how to overcome this kind of procrastination, which I feel is really strong when it comes to creating content. But the reason is something called resistance. About this resistance, there is a book called The War of Art, and I recommend everyone who wants to create their own personal brand and or create any kind of art, just go and fucking read that book. It's amazing, it's mind-blowing, it's so good. We will definitely have some affiliated link. The author there is talking about something called resistance, and that's basically your inner critic, your inner self trying to not allow you to start new things and to create all kinds of excuses why you can't create art. And everyone has this. Every single human being have this fear, this resistance. Holds them away from creating any kind of art. So to overcome this resistance, you have to use some tricks, and one of them is setting up deadlines. Every time have a deadline for the video, because if you don't have the deadline, you will never ever finish it. And that's what Leonard has by posting every single day. He was posting every single freaking day, and that way he had to finish the video until he went to sleep. Another thing is, I have this with another friend where he set up, I will finish a video at the end of the week on Sunday, I will have it finished. We have the same thing with our podcast. Every single Thursday we will finish and upload the episode, even if it's not perfect, even if we wouldn't want to finish so many other things on the episode, the thumbnails are not perfect, the titles are not perfect, it doesn't matter, we will publish it and you guys will have it at 15 p.m. It has to be finished by Thursday. And this nicely segues into yet another tip, which is accountability. It's way easier to finish any kind of content when you have accountability with someone. We have like accountability together, and one of us could have some kind of objection against the episode. They could have some ideas what to fix, but the other one will be like, no, we are finishing or we are uploading it, it doesn't matter. And actually, if I go back to when I was just few weeks ago releasing one of mine videos, which was a transformation of my friend's studio, I remember we were talking with that friend, both of us wanted to upload a YouTube video by the end of Sunday. And so I was just telling to him, yeah, I know we said we want to finish it by Sunday, but I know how to like improve it in this way and that way. And he was like, no, you are uploading it. There is no way, like you are just uploading it. And I was like, really? Like I just want to make it better. And he was like, no, you are uploading it. So I uploaded it. And I can guarantee you, if he wouldn't be there, the video would not be public. The video would not be finished because I would have some other excuses, some other projects I want to work on and stuff. And it is the same with the podcast. Like I literally have the thought of starting a podcast for exactly 1 year. Like by the summer of 2023, I wanted to start a podcast. And here we go. We are starting it 1 year from the time because I have an accountability. Otherwise, I would never fucking start a podcast. So first of all, set a deadline. And second of all, get a accountability partner. If you have any other tips for how to overcome resistance, and also we can segue also into the confidence thing.
Wow. First of all, I'm mind blown by your insights there, and I hope you guys were taking notes, because it's so like these tips were gold nuggets right there. So you mentioned 3 things, right?
Thanks, bro.
So you first mentioned the overcoming resistance, you mentioned setting deadlines, and you mentioned having accountability. And I resonate with all 3 of those so strongly. And funnily enough, you were mentioning The War of Art by Stephen Pressfield, and I actually got that book.
You know that.
I got that book for my birthday, so like a week ago. So
Yes.
it's on my to-read list. And yeah, it was exactly due to the fact that I also felt some resistance. Like I have all these visions and these ideas of how to share something that I want to bring into the world, but there's something holding me back from it. Like so much perfectionism, so much needing to make it a certain way, and so much overthinking also what others might be thinking of myself, or fear of failure, fear of judgment, these kind of things. And I love how, yes, of course it's easy to say, right? Yeah, you have to work on your confidence. And how does working on your confidence actually look like? It can be doing things that make you confident. So it can be doing things you're scared of, but you cultivate the courage to still do them. This could be number 1. So you're here, you want to get there, and you do the thing that gets you there. Or you're here and you can also let go of the things that are down here that are pulling you down. And this is exactly what letting go of resistance means like. So you have the resistance that's pulling you, that's keeping you down here. And if you let go of this resistance here, as it's said by The War of Art, you will then automatically be sort of jumping higher or floating higher, because the weight, the anchor that's keeping you down is let go of. So yeah, one way is to move forward, but the other thing is actually to let go of what's holding you back. And this is what working or letting go of resistance is so crucial for. So I love this insight from you. And maybe more tangible things is actually setting deadlines, because if you're not setting deadlines, there's no sense of urgency. And it's like I also struggle with this myself. It's harder for you to actually sit down and do the work if you can say, I have if you're not setting deadlines, you're essentially thinking that you have an infinite amount of time, but that's not true. You have a finite amount of time in life, and therefore also for your projects, and sort of derping around and not really sitting your ass down and actually doing the work that is needed to publish content, for example, in this case, then you're not going to see any success, and your content will not be published, and your dreams will not be created. So deadlines is crucial for success. That's a really tangible thing that you can just adopt right now to increase your success rate. We'll keep that in.
That will be the intro. Let's go. Yes.
Oh my god. The other thing that Jiri was mentioning was accountability, and I also had the thought for I don't know how many months to start a podcast. And now that I know I have a business partner that is working with me on the same thing, I know that we'll, for example, record a podcast session on Monday. I will need to be there to actually record it. It's accountability, and in a sense it's merging accountability and setting deadlines all together. And you also don't want to let your other partner down, in this case Jiri. it's so funny how you don't want to let others down, but you allow yourself to let yourself down by not setting deadlines and not doing the work. But for some reason, yeah, working with someone else helps to actually get shit done. And I love working with you, Jiri, to
me too.
help each other accountable. And I can actually see how we're doing the actual work that is needed to get to realize the vision that we have. Guys, yeah, accountability, fucking write it on your forehead and get yourself a buddy that you fucking resonate with.
Let's go. It's time for the podcast. Okay, guys, we are back after a quick break. Yeah, we should also pretty soon find some sponsors for the podcast. Talking about that, do you have any companies that you would like us to sponsor?
Mindvalley.
Let's fucking go. That would be sick as hell. Any other one?
SpaceX.
Let's go. That's actually not much related to our podcast, though. The Mindvalley is way more related.
Yeah. Any other? CGI.
That would be sick. That's also for content creators. So yeah, they could send us some nice FPV drone.
Yeah. What do you think? Would you like to collaborate with?
Well, yeah, I think what would be pretty sick is any kinds of really mindful, interesting startups. I do think that, not sure if you know that Stephen Bartlett, the host of Diary of a CEO, has a company called Flight Story and Flight Funds, which is the Flight Funds are private equity investing, and the Flight Story is actually a marketing company for innovative and just purpose-driven brands that want to make a huge impact. So I feel like this is such a great fit to just collaborate on high scale with the whole Dream Creator brand, because the Dream Creator brand is basically such a similar kind of brand. So I feel like there is such a potential for some deeper collaborating, because I also have the plan of creating a private equity fund as well as a marketing / production division of Dream Creators. But I feel like, yeah, it's basically the same thing. Maybe they do not have the community aspect that much. They do not have any kind of community for... Maybe the Diary of a CEO do have some kind of community in there where people could sign in, but I don't know about that. So that's probably what I would want to, like, what could be the differentiator. But honestly, like, first when I discovered that, I was like, fuck, they already created what I wanted to create. And I was like, yeah, I'm not really happy about that. But then I realized, like, if someone who is super successful created the same thing I want to create, that means first it works and there is some need regarding that and some audience. And second of all, that means we can collaborate. I don't have to discover and just create everything right from the beginning. So yeah, I think that's regarding the sponsoring, and I believe there will be definitely a lot more brands that we could work with. And yeah, really looking forward to that. But let's actually continue with the content. So yes, we were talking about the importance of having a accountability and how projects that we both wanted to do for such a long time, just by collaborating and just by doing it together, it's right away way easier, and there is way less of the inner critic and the resistance. So I feel like everyone who's listening, find a freaking accountability buddy. You need that. And you can also join our Dream Creator group. You can find someone there because there are so many inspiring creators. This is such a great place to plug our own community. We were already talking about the resistance and about the importance of deadlines and collaborators, but then there is the second thing, which is accepting yourself and gaining the confidence either in real world or on camera. There's the same kind of confidence. All comes down to accepting yourself as you are, exactly as you are, because then you are not trying to play anything, you are not trying to be confident. That's like the thing. If you are trying to be confident, then it means you are not confident. So I would be actually really interested, Leonard, what do you think helped you the most, or some tips that help you become confident either on camera or in the real world? And if you agree with the thing that confidence is all about accepting yourself.
Yeah, so in a sense, it's the more you accept yourself, the more you're able to express yourself. This is also what Gerard Adams said, the founder of the Leaders Create Leaders movement, in which Jiri and I actually met and got to know each other. So shout out to Gerard, he was actually blowing my mind. Essentially a community for building aligned content creators such as we're doing right now.
His insights are just mind-blowing, so go check him out.
Also remember in his course, it was initially a lot about breaking the mask, your fearful, worrying self, essentially. And therefore also he was saying, yeah, you need to accept yourself. As you said brilliantly also earlier just now, if you are trying to be confident, you are not confident. Because if you were confident, you wouldn't need to try to be it. How you were mentioning earlier when we watched and reacted to your first video ever, you said you're really trying to be confident and to put on a certain mask, and you're growing your mustache, you're wearing certain suits, and you weren't really telling people about your age, and you're putting up this mask to portray the image of a confident Jiri instead of accepting maybe yourself at the stage you're at. So you thought you were maybe not good enough because of your age, and therefore you try to overrun or compensate for that. So yeah, fully agree with it comes down to acceptance. And also when it comes to content creation, you don't want to create content to be accepted by others. So I know there's also this trap outside there that you can easily fall into the trap of chasing external metrics and external validation from others. So it happens easily to want to be validated by others, by them giving you a like, following you, commenting on you and stuff. So you need to accept yourself, because if you don't accept yourself, even though if every single person of the 8 billion people living on this planet will accept you, if you can't accept yourself, you won't believe them and you won't let it land. So a quite simple example of this is if someone is telling you, hey man, you look so beautiful today, or hey girl, you look so beautiful today. And if you don't believe it yourself, you'll be like, no, I don't. I have a bad hair day or whatever. I don't really like my outfit. My shirt is not ironed. I don't like my pimples or whatever. You won't accept it, and you won't accept yourself. And therefore, no matter if every single person on the planet is telling you it, you will still not feel it within yourself. And this is also the reason why, let's say, famous artists, famous musicians still commit suicide at times, because they haven't accepted themselves, although they have all the praise, all the recognition, all the fame, money, and whatever you can ask for, whatever the ego is asking for in the world. They still haven't accepted themselves for who they truly are, and therefore they are not happy. And in life, it's not about having all the praise and all the fame and all the acceptance and validation from others. It's about you being fine with yourself. And this is one of the main tasks that has also led me to creating authentic content. It's every time I'm creating content with the intention of what can I get from me posting this piece of content, and what validation can I get, I'm already acting from a place of lack and fear, because I'm telling myself I'm not enough and I need others to tell me I'm enough. And this automatically will be a weird energy transfer, because I'm essentially trying to get energy from the person that's listening, instead of just being here and sort of give positive energy to the viewer and to you in this case.
Bro, that's so deep.
The more you accept yourself, the more you'll be able to express yourself, and the less you will care about the acceptance of others too and what they tell you. So if you wouldn't put so much emphasis on a certain amount of likes or views, you would still have a positive life. You still enjoy yourself, you still love yourself and appreciate yourself. So that is the core. Yes, content creation is good to achieve your dreams and stuff, and it's necessary, but it's really important where you're coming from. If you're acting from abundance or from lack. So that's the whole journey. And the biggest things, I mean, yeah, there were a lot of things that helped me with that. I would say when it comes to confidence, is actually just talking to strangers, because it's a social thing, creating content and speaking to others. Yeah, talking to strangers on the street, for example, is something that helps, or just being outgoing, extroverted, reading books, meditating, breath work, coaching. Literally, there's an infinite amount of things you can do to boost your confidence.
We will just in a moment go into these action steps, and I believe you will have so many of them. But first of all, I really resonated what you mentioned, that it's not about getting validation by posting content, but rather giving a energy. And here I think what's the most important, you are not creating content for other people. You are creating content for yourself. So every time you are creating a piece of content, think about how to enjoy it the most. What content would you actually watch? Would you actually enjoy watching that content? And yeah, how to make it for yourself. Because let me tell you something. I spent almost a half a year, or maybe almost a year, creating content that I wouldn't even watch if like ever, and it was such a waste of time because it didn't had any likes, any views, and that's the reason. Because like if you, who you know yourself, would not even enjoy the content, why the hell would anyone else enjoy the content? On the other side, if you know that you are enjoying the content, then it means that there is some chance that there will be other people who are really similar to you, who will enjoy this content. But if you are not enjoying the content, there is no chance no one will enjoy the content. So yeah, I feel like this was such a strong lesson for me. And right away when I started creating content that I would actually enjoy, it blew up to tens of thousands to almost hundreds of views per reel. And when it comes to my music journey, I was creating music not to get views, but for myself, because I enjoy it myself. And I upload it on YouTube because I was like, whatever, it will have like few hundred views because no one is listening trial music on YouTube. Like these composers have generally 100 views. So by now, one of my most listened song has, I think, 180,000 views on YouTube, and most of the other ones have around 50k. And I wasn't creating it for anyone else. I wasn't creating it to get views. I was creating it to enjoy it and to make something I like. So just create content that you enjoy. That's it. That's it. You don't have to create avatars. You don't have to create something that other will enjoy. Just make something you enjoy and you would honestly enjoy yourself, and be super honest with that. So I think this is the biggest breakthrough for me, what kind of content to create. But coming back to the acceptance of myself, when I started on social media, I was seeing it as something that, yes, gives me validation, that it would be cool just to like brag about if I would have 500,000 followers or something, or 1,000,000 followers or something like that. It would be something cool. So I was thinking about it, how can I look cool on social media? But looking back at it, like looking cool on social media won't bring you views. Just creating something that you enjoy will bring you views. And if you care about the views, then you will probably not get them because you are trying to look cool. And people don't want someone to look cool. I think this is such an important thing. People don't care about you. No matter how cool, no matter how handsome, no matter how, you are. People don't care about you at all. Or no matter how smart you are. People care just about themselves. And so even if you are ugly, even if you are stupid, and even if you are not good at making videos, if you can give them some kind of value, if you can entertain them, if you can inspire them, if you can make them laugh or make them cry, or some kind of strong emotion that they enjoy, or give them some dopamine, you will have the following. But if you are the most smartest, handsome, coolest person, and if you are just being cool and not giving of any value to the people, you will have 0 followers. Trust me.
Actually, so I would love to share
Yes.
some more on what you just said. There were so many mind blowing things that you mentioned that so resonated with me, and
So happy about it.
literally so good.
Thanks.
You were mentioning how it's not how people don't care about you. It's people care about themselves, and I would fully agree. People in the first place always try to maximize or guarantee their own survival. Therefore, they don't care about you. They care what you can do for them. So in this case, it needs to be some sort of value. And value is something that's talked about so often, and this is actually something that we can also dive into deeper, maybe another episode. But I feel like giving value can be essentially be boiled down into two things. So it can either be value in the terms of entertainment, or it can be value in terms of solving some sort of problem, giving you some information. So it can either be distraction from something, or it can be something to actually help you achieve your goals. Therefore, people like Logan Paul, for example, I mean, yes, they are giving value, but there's also a lot of entertainment. And also what we're mentioning in the beginning is how energy exchange is so key. And the more energy that people have and content creators have, better I feel like also the video or the content will perform. So there are so many people who are just whipping out the phone and just talking to the camera without any fancy studio or editing, but their energy is so captivating and they're so excited, they're in such a positive state that this automatically makes for an amazing hook. So yes, you can have like a perfectly crafted hook that's maybe fear or FOMO invoking, but what actually also makes people watch is just your excitement, because you're either drawn to pleasure, and someone who's in an excited state is something you're drawn to and that you would like to consume further content. So, and also if you relate that to social environments and social interactions in the real world, let's say you're at a social gathering, at an event, at a mastermind, at a dinner, usually the person that is the most excited or in the most uplifting positive state is the one that has the most attention onto them. And if you then therefore also like translate and transfer that to the digital world when it comes to content creation, the more excited you are, or the more authentic, aligned, and in a positive state you are, the more people will resonate with your content. And
Yes.
also when it comes to the type of content you think of producing, right? So what you were mentioning earlier, how you were copying or being a sellout in a sense, right? So you're trying to please the algorithm, you're trying to create content that wasn't really aligned with you. You felt like burning out because you're creating content that you didn't like to produce at all. It's almost the fear that this unique thing that you have to show to the world is not good enough or will not be appreciated by others, right? So when it comes to content creation, you don't really, and Jiri and I, we actually talked about this yesterday, that you don't really have to define a specific avatar if you're just trying to create content for people who are like-minded, right? So if you're trying to create a like-minded audience, people who are like-minded to you are, in a sense, very, very similar versions of you. So if you're, let's say, trying to create Instagram ads for real estate agents, of course, you are targeting real estate agents. And if you're not a real estate agent, you need to create a buyer persona or ideal customer profile, ICP, of a real estate agent in this case. But if you yourself are the audience and you yourself are the target group, you just create content for yourself essentially. And therefore it's harmful to your dream target audience if you are faking it, if you're trying to copy someone else or some other format instead of having full trust in your opinions, your visions, your views of the world, because only your target audience will resonate with your authenticity. And therefore you need to accept yourself and appreciate yourself and see your own worth to then show that to the world authentically. Because if you don't appreciate, accept yourself, you're not able to express yourself authentically and you're just faking it in a sense and you're copying someone else. And by this fakeness, the frequency and the vibration maybe you're sharing and the energy that you're sharing is not that which your target audience, your dream audience will connect with. So it's so essential that you have trust in yourself, that you are willing to make it with your unique vision and with your unique personality and character instead of trying to make it by being someone else or by copying someone else. So authenticity and deep authenticity is the ultimate key for amazing content and for enjoying yourself 100% along the way.
Yeah, bro, I totally agree with that. But just one thing want to mention, I'm not like recommending to copy people, but if you want to be successful, you have to know how to steal. Because if you are trying to figure out a content idea, the whole content format and everything just by yourself, good luck, it will probably take you tens of years. But if you just look at what works and what you enjoy watching and what you can do authentically, and you just steal, let's say, 70% of it, and you add the most authentic 30% to it, and you improve it, and you make it better, or you combine it with another idea, then this is how you will succeed. And I was trying to figure out viral content ideas and whatever for such a long time, but just at the moment when I actually found out a already working content idea, and I was like, yeah, I can do this authentically. That's the first thing. I can add some value to it. I can make it better. I can make it more interesting. And I'm enjoying the content itself, watching it. That's when the success came. That's when I started getting like 1,000 times as many views. And yeah, so I feel like don't copy other people, but steal their content ideas and improve on them.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, so in a sense, it's you sharing your authentic voice, but since probably the chances are high that you have no idea what actually works in the market and what type of content performs well, it's one of the biggest hacks when it comes to creating content that actually performs well and goes viral, is to see what's already going viral and then sort of learning and studying and adapting that framework to yourself. And you can, sort of imitate that intelligently. In a sense, you're getting inspired by things that are already working well, and then you're able to put your own touch on it. And it's quite similar to what so many businesses are doing anyways, right? So you have not only businesses that are trying to reinvent the wheel every time themselves from zero, from scratch, but you have, let's say, some sort of business that is seeing how another company is currently trying to solve a problem, and you see a more efficient way of solving that problem. In a sense, you're getting inspired by that certain piece, but you then see how you can do it more effectively, more efficiently, and more helpful. And plus you also put your own spin on it. So in a sense, it's, of course, you can copy paste something 100%ly and let's say have a text from LinkedIn or Twitter, Instagram, whatever, and just literally copy it and steal it 100%. But the thing is, if you just take the idea from it and then spin it in your own way and adapt it, you with your unique perception and personality and character, life experiences, values, and wisdom, and the way just your mind is working, you will automatically put a unique spin on it. Plus, if you also show your face, this will be even more unique. So imitate intelligently and put your own spin on it. And but see what works already instead of trying to reinvent the wheel from scratch, because this will actually take you a long time.
I think this is such an important thing, and you just described it really well. I just had in my mind this analogy very well when you were talking about this. Like, imagine you want to start a car company. You want to build cars. So you have two options. Either you just do a car, put 4 wheels on it and make a car, or let's say you put 5 wheels on it, you make it in a shape of ball, and it may work. It may be extreme success. But for 95%, it will suck and you will bankrupt. But if you just make a car with 4 wheels, with normal car shape, and you just put your spin on it, you make it better in some way. Let's say you make it safer, or you make it in a bit more luxury feel. The whole brand can just easily copy another car, but it's either supporting some kind of bigger cause, like let's say 10% of your profits go to saving these kids in Africa. Even if you just copy another car company and you make it a little bit better than that car company, but you have this cause, you have this reason behind the brand, people will buy it as fuck. This is such a important thing, just not trying to reinvent the wheel and make a 5 or 8 wheel car that looks like a balloon or whatever, but just make something that already works, make it better and make it different somehow.
Exactly.
So, but then definitely there are people like Elon Musk who can really experiment, and let's say Cybertruck, it's something you never see car like that, but still it has 4 wheels. Even something that wild has still 4 wheels. So just use what works and not try to reinvent the whole thing, but make it better and more interesting. And the more you learn how to make something good in that way, then you can experiment more because you know the basics. This is the same thing. Before creating a freaking Cybertruck, he created a Tesla, which looks like a normal car, and just made it better by making it electric and few improvements. And then he already knew how to start a successful car company, so he created something wild. So yeah, I think this is a nice analogy, and let's now actually continue back into the confidence. Leonard, could you mention few of practices, like actionable steps that personally helped you be more confident on camera or in real life, and yeah, just share it with people?
Yeah, sure. So if you're trying to become more confident on camera or in life, first step is to ask yourself why you're not confident, and to write out all the reasons you have about yourself mentally that you have come up with over the years of why you're not confident, or why you feel like you need to be a certain way, why you need to be better or different to then allow yourself to fully express yourself. As we said earlier, right? So you can let go of the resistance to become higher, or you can just directly try to do the action steps to go higher. So in a sense, let go of all that is holding you back from becoming confident, and that is by getting awareness around what is holding you back from actually being confident. Why do you not like yourself? Why do you not trust yourself? Why do you not accept yourself? And you can then let go after you've sort of gained the awareness. You can then step 2, let go of all the things that you're not confident about. And this is more of a personal development practice that might be there might be coaching involved in that. There might be like just healing or letting go of things that might also go into that. And personally, what has helped me the most in my life is actually breath work. I was in a breath work session that went for 3 hours in Bali that would just completely change my life, and that was a huge thing that has actually like shifted my confidence in myself so much. So it's actually letting go of your limiting beliefs, your blockages that you have towards stepping into your highest and most authentic self. So that's more from the personal development and maybe spiritual lens and perspective. And on the other side, when it comes to more doing things to make you more confident, it's of course just doing it, right? So obvious tip is to just do it and practice it.
Using the muscle, the confidence muscle. One thing that really helped me personally was just recording everything I'm doing, like a vlog, not thinking I will release it, having it just as a practice thing, sharing my life and getting used to actually talking into the camera, because it's something weird. In like normal life, you don't talk to camera. It's just something super unnatural. So the more you practice by doing something that has no stakes, like you can just set to yourself that you will never release this vlog, is just for yourself, then watching it back, also getting used to seeing yourself on a camera. First of all, it's so weird. So you just have to get used to it. So just practicing like this, I think, is such a helpful thing. One thing that definitely helped me become more confident was to just approach random girls, either in a coffee shop or on a street or wherever, and just talk to them, say them they are pretty, and start a conversation somehow, and then try to finish it up by getting their number or Instagram. So this thing alone, it took me like, I guess, like almost a year from the time I wanted to start doing this to the time where I actually approached first one. So it's so fucking hard. It's so fucking hard. But if you can do this, then it will definitely help you become way more confident. And so this is definitely like one of the things, and you will get rejected as fuck.
Yeah.
So whoever have the balls for this, definitely great practice. And another things, not taking myself seriously. I think this is probably the most important thing to become confident. If you are trying to become confident, you are not confident, as I mentioned. So just the thing of accepting yourself. And before I started making videos or whatever, I just thought I doesn't look good. I didn't like myself on any photos, but I just had to accept that this is how I look like, and sometimes I look just so fucking weird. My hair look bad, or I have some weird faces, but that's just me, and who fucking cares? So yeah, just being okay with yourself. And yeah, I think this is such a important step, and it will require probably a lot of transformation, a lot of therapy, or a lot of or breath work, or any kind of stuff like that. I was definitely like, when I went through the process of accepting myself, I was crying. I was just whatever. It's uncomfortable, and but then it just opens you up for so many different possibilities. And another thing that I feel like was really strong was, it is just weird talking to the camera. But if you have the mindset that it's weird and you look like a weirdo when you are talking into the camera, you will not be confident. But if you change your identity, that you are an influencer or a YouTuber or whatever, or a podcaster, then it right away doesn't feel weird. It feels normal. That's your normal life. Like, this is your identity. So try changing consciously your identity of being someone who does this for a living. And that way it will be way easier. And even though it just feels weird, like talking like this to the camera in public, if you have the mindset that this is just your job, you are a YouTuber, and you doesn't care about people thinking you are a YouTuber or you are an influencer or TikToker, then you are just okay with it and you don't really give a shit. So yeah, I feel like this was also an important thing. Yeah, do you have any other ideas?
Yeah, I would just say to maybe wrap it up, that the in the end, what talking to the camera actually means is, it's social media is not really a one-to-many platform, although it is. It is in the end how the viewer and how you are experiencing right now. It's a one-to-one platform, or it's how in this case Jiri and I are talking to you right now. So it's a one-to-one platform, and we are talking to you directly, and we're not talking to all of you guys or to people just in general. We're talking to you individually, and you specifically listening or watching to this right now. And since it's in a sense a human or social conversation and interaction, the more I would say just like your social skills or your social capacities then also translate to you talking to camera. And you can look into the lens and picture someone else that you're talking to right now. So what I'm doing, what is going on in my mind currently, is just that I'm sort of envisioning a concrete person that I'm talking to. And it also helps in this case to have Jiri with me, because we're in a conversation, therefore it's flowing more effortlessly.
Yes, this is such a strong thing, and some people use perhaps a picture of their friend or a family member behind the camera just so they can talk with them. I feel like this is a pretty good strategy. For me, it didn't really work for some reason. It just looked fake, but yeah, this can work. What I do is I imagine a small group of my followers who accepts me unconditionally, and so no matter what I'm doing, I know I will be accepted by them. And what really helped me to gain this kind of feeling when I'm talking to camera, that I'm talking to a small group which is accepting me unconditionally was actually starting to post on Instagram and started to post. And I feel like Instagram is a great platform to start, because if you start being super vulnerable on camera and super just yourself without any filter, you will see so much people resonating with you and people commenting that they are experiencing the same and hear their stories, and that way you will get the mindset of not being afraid right away, because you know that they will accept you unconditionally. But in order to do this, you have to be absolutely fucking vulnerable and transparent and yourself. And this is the only way to actually get people open as well and share their stories, and then you see they are accepting you unconditionally. So I feel like this was the thing that helped me the most. And before that, I was like, everyone's gonna judge me, everyone's gonna hate me, or whatever. I had all of these things. So 2 things. If you are vulnerable, they won't judge you, they will resonate with you. And second thing, if you are not, they won't give a shit about you. That's the second thing. Like, if you are not adding value and you are not vulnerable, then they don't care. Maybe there will be someone who will give you a hate comment, but most friends won't even care. And the people that will give you a hate comment, that means they want to look cool or whatever. That's their problem. Their unconfidence, or their hurt, because no one who's okay, who's just fine, and they are doing their own thing, will comment on your video saying something negative.
Yeah.
If they don't like it, they don't care. They don't have the time to care. So if you get any hate comment, they are not worth your time, because the person is not having much value. Because if they are spending time on hate comments, fuck them. Not literally.
Yeah, it's hurt people, right? So
Yes.
hurt people or loving people would not hurt others, and if you're hurt, you would probably also would then be more likely to hurt others. And it's essentially the reframe of, do you think of you and maybe your audience? Do you think about the people you want to engage with as competition or as someone you need to prove yourself to? Or do you have a more of a collaborative framework and mindset, in the sense that you want to share something with them and you're on the same team? Or do you feel like you're on opposing teams and you either need to try to make it on their team, or you're trying to throw rocks against their team or hate them in a sense, right? So do you have a competitive or do you have a collaborative mindset when it comes to interacting? And I feel like that's a key distinction.
Yeah, I guess this is such a nice ending and such a nice analogy. So yeah, if there's one thing that probably helped me the most being confident on camera, just first of all, experience that people actually accepts you. And if you are vulnerable and they are good friends or confident human beings not being hurt themselves, then they will accept you. And then it just strengthens the thought of them accepting you no matter who you are. But first you need to accept yourself. So go ahead and start with accepting yourself, and then seeing that also others accept you.
Definitely. Yeah, couldn't agree
But
more.
in this order. And then there is it's like talking with a friend. You just imagine the camera to be your friend. And then it can even lead to really enjoying talking to the camera, because that means you can share your thoughts with the world. You can just have fun while doing it. That's, I think, the most important thing. So yeah.
Last thought is just trust yourself. Trust that you are enough. Trust that people will like you for your unique character, for your unique vision, for your ideas, for your mind, and the way you are. You are loved. People are looking forward to what you have to share with the world, and go share that with all your passion, and the world would respond. So yeah, I would say that's a great way to wrap it up.
Let's go. That's such a nice one. Yes, guys, you are fucking perfect. Remember that forever. You are. No matter what you will do, you are. So go ahead and make your first video, and you can also share it with us if this inspired you to start posting or start creating video content. Tag us on Instagram and we will repost it to all of our audiences. And yeah, we are just so looking forward to that. If you have any ideas for next episode, let us know down in the comments or on podcast at dream-creators.com, or on just DM us on our Instagram. We will try to respond to absolutely everyone. And that's it. Make sure to follow us here and on Instagram, subscribe, and click the bell notification. Yes, like this. And yeah, we are so much looking forward to seeing you, or you seeing us next week on next Thursday. And yeah, it was blast.
Peace out, guys. See you soon.